Good morning, my dear students. This is the chapter number 15 of Computer Science class 12th. Chapter name is Interface Python with MySQL. Last video, I have explained about how to install Python software in your computer, and second video, how to install PIP, means package installer Python in your computer. Two videos I already explained about these two topics, means installation Python, and second one is install PIP. Now in this video I am going to start with this chapter, how will you create database connectivity with your application software. So there are 7 steps that must followed in order to create a database connectivity with application. Means we have total 7 steps to complete database connectivity. Follow these steps to complete your connectivity. First step is start Python software. Start your Python software. So without the Python software you can't execute your code. So first step is start Python. Then second step is import the package required for database programming. That means here you have to need import such files like mysql.connector. So without this package you can't connect your main Python software with MySQL. So this is the package name, mysql.connector. Then third one is open a connection to the database. Let's see steps one by one. Now see this, start Python. Python can be start either in IDLE mode or Spider IDE mode, which you feel comfortable. It depends on you. Or you can open your Python in Python script mode. It depends on you. Step number 2, import mysql.connector. This is a package name. So you can import this line by using import mysql.connector. Import mysql.connector. This line is important to import your connector package in Python software. Or second line is this, import mysql.connector as SQLTOR. As SQLTOR, this is a reference name, means alternative name of this mysql.connector. Means no need to write every time mysql.connector. Instead of that you have to write SQLTOR, means this is the duplicate name of this mysql.connector. Means either you have to write mysql.connector or you have to write SQLTOR. Both are acceptable. So this is a short name. So every time you have to use SQLTOR while you are using this type of import statement. Or if you are importing first statement like import SQL.connector, so every time you have to write this to access your connector functions. Like suppose you want to access your connect function, so you have to write mysql.connector.connect. Or if you are using this line, so you have to write simple SQLTOR.connect. Now third step, see this, open a connection to MySQL database. After importing this package mysql.connector, we need to connect our database with Python software. For this we need connect function. The connect function of MySQL connector establish connection to MySQL database and require 4 parameters. Means it has 4 parameters, you can say 4 arguments. Like first argument is host. Host means host name, like the database server host name, or you can write here IP address. So this time I will use localhost. Localhost is my computer host. And then username. Username, by default username is root. So this time I will use root as a username. Password. Password of the software. Password of MySQL software. So I have password like tiger. So TIGER I will use in place of password. And then name of the database which you are using. Clear? So this all the things you have to write in connector connect function, or this connect function is called by package mysql.connector. So mysql.connector.connect like this. Then once it will execute successfully, it will generate connection object. It will generate a connection object. Clear? Now, by using this statement, if my con is my connection object dot is underscore connected, means if this returns true, then we means if our connection is established properly, then it will return true, or if it return true, then we see a message successfully connected to MySQL database. It will display a message like this. You can see by using this command, import mysql.connector as sqltor. So sqltor is a alternative name of mysql.connector. Then see this next line, mycon is a connection object equals to sqltor, that is the alternative name of mysql.connector. .connect is a function and having 4 parameters like host, user, password and database. These are the 4 parameters. If this execute successfully, then it will return true value. So means mycon dot is connected. If it return true, then we got a message like successfully connected to MySQL database. If it returns false, means not properly connected, then it doesn't return any value on the screen like this. Next step number 4 is create a cursor instance. Means everything here in the Python, when we are connecting Python with database, we need cursor instance, cursor object. So without the cursor object, we can't do anything. We can't do anything. A database cursor is a useful control structure of database connectivity. Normally, when you connect a database from within a script or program, then the query gets sent to the server, where it gets executed. Means every statement, every command is executed, they are sent it to the server, and then there it will execute, and the result set is sent over the connection to you. Means result set means whatever result we get after executing the statement, executing the query, or it will provide all the record at once in one row. But you may want to access the retrieved data one row at a time, but the query processing cannot happen as one row at a time. Means processing cannot done like this. Means it will display all the records at once. For this purpose, we need a database cursor. So a special type of control structure called database cursor can be created that gets the access of all records retrieved as per the query and allow you to traverse the result set row by row. Means through this result set we can access our data row by row, but this is possible only when we create the cursor instance, means cursor object. Now see this, how we create a cursor object. By this way, you have to create cursor object like cursor object equals to connection object dot cursor. So cursor is the method. Through this you can create your cursor object. Like see this example, cursor is a cursor object equals to mycon is a connection object dot cursor. Means this cursor function is called by connection object, and through this it will generate the object. I hope this much is clear to you. Now execute your SQL query. Step number 5. Through the cursor object, you have to call your SQL queries through the execute function. So execute function is called by cursor object like this. Cursor is our object dot execute is a function. In that you have to pass SQL query. So SQL query is select asterisk from data. Select asterisk from data. Here data is a name of the table. We want to display all the records from this table. Then we pass this query in the execute. So it will display all the records at once. Clear? Then next is extract data from result set. Means how we get result set data. So we have 4 functions. One is fetch all, fetch one, fetch many, and last one is row count. Fetch all. Fetch all means it will return all the records retrieved as per the query in a tuple form, means all the record at once by using fetch all query. Means it retrieve data from the database and store in variable data. In variable data means this is the variable. So here it will store through the for loop we can retrieve one record at a time and display on the Python software like this. Similarly, cursor.fetch1. Fetch1 returns one record at a time. One record at a time. So one record from the result set as a tuple or a list form. First time it will return first record, next time it will return second record, third record, and so many like this. Then cursor.fetch many. In bracket you have to pass number, value of n. Many means how many records you want to fetch. So this method accepts number of records to fetch, means how many records you want to fetch. Here you have to type, and returns a tuple where each record itself is a tuple. Then cursor.row count. Cursor.row count means row count is not a function, it is a property of cursor object. Row count is a property of cursor object that returns number of rows retrieved from a cursor. Means how many rows we have retrieved from the cursor, it will return by the row count property. I hope this much is clear to you. Now this is a table student of MySQL database test. Means database name is test, table name is student, having some records. Column names are roll number, name, marks, grade, section, and project. Then these are the values in the table. See this program, import mysql.connector as sql.tor. Then mycon equals to sql.tor.connect. So no need to write mysql.connector every time. Simply you have to type mysql.tor.connect. Host equals to localhost user password and then database name. Then if mycon dot is underscore connected equals to false, that means if connection is not established properly, then it will return false. False equals to false, then it will generate an error connecting to MySQL database. Otherwise you have to generate cursor object and then you execute your query through the cursor object like this. Now see all the things with the help of program in Python. Let's start. Before starting the Python software, first you have to create database. You know very well how to create a database. So this time I am using database MySQL SQL Server 5.1. Password is TIGER. Once again TIGER. Press enter. Now SQL is connected. Then show databases. This is a query to show all the database, but here we want to create a new database. So for this create database, database name, I think class 12, because this is for class 12 students. Database name is class 12. Now query OK. Use 12. Now database change. In that I want to create one table. Create table. Table name is student. And in that I want to create two columns like roll number. Type is int, comma, name is the type char, size 20, semicolon. Now table is created. Insert some record in it. Insert into table name student. Value is one, comma, SHWETA. Shweta. One mistake is here. I have not written values. So first you have to write values, then execute this query. Similarly, insert one more record. That is number 2. Value is Arvinder. Press enter. Now 2 records are inserted in the table student asterisk from student. Now see this. 2 records are created in the table student.